All right. One of the big things that I actually am interested in is the whole cloud. They're actually going to be making it a primary feature this time. You know, because the cloud that they have on the 360 it's just bitch status. It's what five? Is it 5 megs or something stupid like that?
It's 512, I think.
5 meg. Oh, cool! I can put a Tic Tac in there, and that's saved, and that's it.
It's pretty
Wonderful.
much just 4 game saves
Right. And
because the Xbox Slim dropped the memory card port.
yep. So they had to find a way to compensate. So I just think that that is kind of lame. But one of the big things that the cloud feature said is that um, multiplayer with your friends, streaming, anything really, and also the Xbox Live features are all going to be enhanced because of the cloud and the fact that they're not going to have to save as many things on your hard drive, and they're basically saying it's going to take away wear and tear on your physical system because you're saving more on your cloud.
They say that, but with all these mandatory installs of frickin' Blu-ray games into the hard drive, those 500 gigs go away pretty quick.
That's what I was saying as well.
Yeah.
Anyone?
I'm gonna need some fucking time on that issue. So if you guys want to go first, feel free.
Joe Tato
On the
chip?
uh, on the cloud.
No, on the cloud, and since you mentioned the mandatory install, I'm just gonna open the fucking can of worms because
Hold
it's
it, hold it, hold it. Let's get through the rest of these cloud features real quick, and then we can let you turn Super Saiyan at the end of it. What's this? All right, Joe, Miss Pinup, anything you want to add on to that?
Yeah, you guys pretty much summed it up. I mean, I barely use it now myself. So,
I
I
think
guess
I've used it one time in my Xbox career.
Yeah, I think me too. I think I tried it and then it failed me, so I immediately told it to fuck itself.
I
I
think I
travel
did
with
too.
my whole profile's on a flashcard because I travel all the time around with my Xbox profile. So I do use it for some game save, which is nice. It is nice where I'm like, oh, I can just pick up my game 400 miles from my house. But
Not really a big deal.
no, it really isn't.
Um, Joe Chacho?
Yeah, it's not a big deal unless they implement something else. I mean, it is what it is. You have your save file in the internet and you can access it wherever, but I don't know. I'm hoping maybe they do something else. Maybe like little indie games, have it,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Just real quick
share it
ones.
with other devices maybe. I don't know.
Right.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. All right. One thing I thought was really cool about the cloud is you can start a show or a game on any Xbox One and then continue it right literally where you left off on another one because of the cloud. So
Rest in
like,
peace. Fast forward.
yeah, basically. So let's say, Pinup is playing BioShock 4, right? Cool. Playing BioShock 4 and she gets to this one point and then says, "Hey, I'm going to come by blah blah blah." So cool, she saves her game saved to her cloud, comes over, she can immediately pop it up, including her game, which is also installed and is saved to her profile, and can pick up for a second right where she left off and show me what she was doing. Or it can be, Justice Joe over there wants to show me this great part on Breaking Bad. He can come over right at that moment, or if he is coming over, say, "Hey, I have this saved on my Xbox," and pop it up immediately.
It's pretty cool.
But it's, once again, I'm guessing generally it's just like a kind of whatever feature.
Yeah.
For the most part.
All right. Ooh, I do like this. You don't have to wait for patches or updates. It's apparently going to download directly to the cloud, and just like the PS4 will, you'll be able to play while downloading.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yes, that's always nice because it's annoying when you have to jump in a game and it's like, "You've been disconnected from Xbox Live. Download the patch."
Yep.
This 5 megabyte patch that, for whatever reason, takes me like a minute.
Yeah. Let me see. Apparently, because of the cloud, and the way they're working with developers, games are going to have a lot more power available to them. So, because of the cloud, they're going to be able to apparently make more happen. Which is, there's not really anything that you can really say about that other than cool, more power, I guess. Games and the last point is basically the same thing as before. All your games and entertainment can be shared from your cloud on any Xbox One. Okay, this is where we say /AeonTech rant go.
For the installs.
Yes.
So one of the biggest fears of the next generation Xbox is that there is going to always one of the biggest rumors was going to be that that the system was going to require an always-on internet connection, and the biggest thing, of course, is people without internet or people that they have kind of shitty internet, bad Wi-Fi, a lot of blackouts, stuff like that. So they denied it. They like Xbox denied it, but it was a very shitty they got off on a technicality, I guess you could say. So the system is not going to require an always-on connection, but they said that you will need to connect to the internet once a day, once every 24 hours in order to play any games. So even if you're playing single player, even if you're playing, Mass Effect 4 on
Y'all ever play Diablo 3? It's that DRM.
it is DRM. It's exactly DRM. And what it is what they're saying, and also what they're saying though is they're saying that although you're not going to require an always on connection, it's going to be where it's up to the developers. The developers are going to be able to access cloud computing in order to help, like you said, games are going to benefit from the cloud. So basically they're putting it in the developers' hands to have people basically force people to be online. So although technically the system doesn't require an always on internet connection, it basically fucking does.
A
So
daily internet connection.
yeah, so Microsoft, like everyone that I've read on, I mean, yesterday and today I've spent a lot of time just kind of looking at people's reactions. Everybody sees through the bullshit. It's another case of a big company using DRM, using digital rights management to, in their words, combat piracy. But in the end, all they're doing is hurting the end user, hurting the people that give them money, and hurting the people that legitimately use their product. And it's we talked about this in a previous Triad talk. If you haven't checked it out, please
I was gonna
do.
say, to see how much we hate DRM, come check out this.
And it's not going away. And it's worrying me how much it's going to be in the next generation and how much it's going to be in God knows what from now on.
I'm
Like we
wondering,
are
is DRM, is it just like an American thing the more I think about it? Because there was Blizzard, EA, and now Microsoft. It's not. I don't hear of, I don't know, Konami or whoever else, dropping DRM. So, or Capcom. So I'm starting to think it's just an American thing, which is,
Might be.
we have the biggest pirates, but
Yeah.
I mean the Xbox
Pirates.
did moderately well with piracy, or like they had a stance against it, not like the Wii, which didn't give a shit.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to DRM, if you guys don't know what it is, seriously, just go check out the Triad talk because it explains it in depth. And Aeon Tech goes Super Saiyan once again, and really kind of gets down and dirty in it. I'm just gonna say that DRM sucks balls for cash.
I actually I wasn't that bad in that one. It was the DLC one where I got kind of angry.
Pretty good.
I think we were both angry in that one.
We're all kind of angry.
Yeah.
The salt levels.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I felt like a Morton's fisherman. There was just salt everywhere. Going into this is a good one. Used games, are they playable? I found out a couple little tidbits about how used games are going to work. Apparently, when you buy a game, so we'll say that Shuffleuffagus over there buys Dark Souls 14, which he'll be the only one buying that, by the way. He has a one-time install code. So when he puts the game in, there's an install code because there's apparently, like we were referencing a little bit earlier, there's a mandatory install for every game. Well, he installs his game and it works for him, no problem. If he borrows the game, or I'm sorry, gives the game to Aeon Tech and he wants to borrow Dark Souls 14 and he goes to put it in, it's actually going to recognize that this is not Shuffle's console and will charge him a one-time fee to install it.
Praise the sun.
It has been confirmed today that it will be the same price as a full game.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, this has been
Holy shit! So I'm buying the game twice then.
No. You
Whoa.
don't have to buy it. He has to. So we'll say that I own it and I give it to you.
Right.
When you install it, you have to purchase it.
Buy Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Buy Redbox.
Buy
GameStop.
Buy GameStop.
Seriously.
Before
I
we
wonder,
continue.
What
Sorry.
GameStop thinks about that? It's like, all right. Well, what about? Did they say anything about trade-ins though?
Hold on,
obviously,
hold on.
right?
We're
I'm gonna get to it.
we're getting there.
I'm
get to it.
excited now.
That's good. So look, so there's a one-time install code. If I lend my game to anybody else, it has to be installed, obviously, but it will cost the same price as a full game. Now, here is where we're not clear, or at least I have not seen anything, and I've read a lot of articles, is that let's say, Pinup, you install it. So cool, it's installed. Do you not need the disc because you paid for it?
Right.
If
You know what I mean? Because if you don't need the disc, then I would understand, because then you could just buy it right there.
you do not, if you install the game, when you buy a game, when you yourself buy a game for yourself, or just buy a brand new game,
Right.
it comes with a disc that has all the information on it, and it also comes with a one-time code. You install the game off the disc into your hard drive, the entire game. You use that code to basically attach that game onto your account, onto your gamer tag.
Right.
And then the disc, you don't need the disc. You play it 100% off your hard drive.
Okay, so
you don't need it to boot up like the
No.
current gen.
okay,
Basically.
so then I understand that, because that would mean that I have the disc, but Pinup could just buy the game by installing from my disc.
But the thing,
I know they were talking about the actually, before I even continue into this, I need to give a shout out. Guardians of Middle Earth, Asplar, we were having this discussion on the forums before. Yeah, we were having this discussion when I was talking about the Xbox One earlier and the fee, and he was talking about how if it was cheaper, like between like the $1 to $5 range, that wouldn't be such a big deal. But now understanding that it's the full disc install or whatever it is, and the disc becomes a frisbee afterwards, then I understand why it's a full price thing. And I know that if you can play for free, obviously just by signing in, then if you can just sign in your profile on like the second controller or whatever it is, and then have your friend play on the first or whatever, so they can get achievements and stuff like that, then it's not too bad of a deal, as long as the profile management isn't obnoxious. Or you can just, I'm wondering if it's going to be like the PlayStation or whatever it is, and you just drop your profile onto your friend system, and if you're not playing, they can sign in, or you can just tell them the password or something like that. So wouldn't be.
Here's how it works as far as that. So let's say I go to Pinup's house and I load my profile onto her system. We can only play that game on my profile. It cannot be played on her profile because it's not on her console. However, I believe if it's on my home console and then she came to my place and logged on at the same time, we could play because it's on my console. So yeah. I think it heavily depends.
Portable gaming is actually done on smaller systems than a full console.
Yeah. So it's an interesting thing. The thing that they also said they're going to be getting into in the next couple of days is apparently you're going to be able to trade your games online.
Yes, there's going to be an online game trading service, where basically you are sending your rights to the game to whoever online. One thing I did want to note is that in Shuffle a second ago, you're saying I understand that why there has to be a full game fee if you're installing the whole game, and like you said, the space becomes a frisbee. So if someone else wants to install it, since they're installing the whole game, it's understandable that they have to pay the full game fee. But this is yet another case where, at least in my mind, I see through the bullshit, because there wouldn't be a need. The whole reason that they're installing like 100% from disc to console, all that is for is so they can do this fucking online check. This once a day, make sure it's a legal copy disc check. If they didn't do that, then there would be no need. You'd be able to put the disc in the into the console just like you would now. It seems to be the main reason why they're doing that. And then when it comes to the fee and whatnot, I mean, ever since we were kids, ever since before we were kids, there was always, you beat a game. Hell, I still am looking to borrow Bioshock Infinite from one of you guys. There's always been that friend. Hey guys, do you mind if I check that game out for me? Borrow it for a few days. All of a sudden, you're not going to be able to do that anymore, and all because of, in my opinion, what is just a whole crap load of DRM. And
So I know
I think it's also heavily because of piracy, especially the Xbox. The Xbox got hacked a lot. Not the online like PSN. I'm talking about the system itself, and people burning games. I have 5 or 6 different friends I know that were just downloading every game that came out, and they also got around to being able to play online and not being caught. So I think that for them, it's just trying to stop those people. But I think it's
everyone else in the process.
right. But that's the thing. You look at that's history of the world. If a couple people fuck up, and what happens? Everyone pays for it.
But call me old-fashioned. I like
Old-fashioned.
to have discs. I like to have the discs. I mean, I do trade-ins all the time, so I don't have like a huge hoard collection of games. But I like to have that physical copy in my hand for whatever fucking reason something happens where the internet blows up or something. At least still I have my copy of Bioshock. I go, well, there goes my whole. What am I paying for again? Oh, I'm paying for a digital download that I don't ever get to physically touch.
Right. Well, that's the thing is you can still buy the the disc. It's just
away
you don't
from
need the disc after that.
They're pushing more towards the digital download, which is I don't know. I think it's stupid.
It's all gonna.
They should just sell codes then.
Right. But that's the thing. The problem
all
is,
the game discs should just have. It should just be a blank disc with the Sharpie writing the name on the front. That seems appropriate.
They need to keep retail.
Don't give them ideas.
You also have to remember though, a lot of internet companies impose pretty strict bandwidth limits. Your average game is between 20 and 30 gigs. I know my previous internet connection before I got my new one, the one that I have now, I only had 100 gigabytes a month. So I mean, that's between, this was back in my old place. We had 2 TVs running Netflix often. We had me on my computer, all my systems, everything. So like it wouldn't be smart to just do a digital download because then everyone would just get screwed out of their bandwidth. So that's part of the reason why they're doing the disc, I would assume.
The tech in Aeon Tech stands for technologically sound because that's why he's here.
Pretty fucking smart. But the thing that I'm not, and the other thing, and this is just throughout the community, this stuff that I've been hearing from people. So basically what you're doing is you're putting a disc in and you're installing it to a hard drive to where you're playing it just off the hard drive. Can anybody tell me where that sounds familiar? It's a fucking computer. But what they're doing is they're making it to where, they're making all this multimedia stuff where, you can watch TV, you can watch music, movies, browse the internet. I can do that even better on my computer. Oh,
you can also
graphics card too.
Well, you can actually keep tricking your computer out and making it more technologically powerful, which you cannot do with these systems because everything is proprietary.
We have heard a lot of high-profile names in the gaming community, diehard Xbox fans saying that they're probably just going to become PC gamers this generation. And being perfectly honest, I mean the last. I've said this before and Triad Talk before. In the last year or so, probably even a little more than that, I've become more of a PC gamer, and I don't mind it.
If they put the right titles on PC, I'll start heading there. Because there's obviously a lot of the bigger titles are cross platforms, but some of my favorite games, like obviously Guardians of Middle Earth and a couple others, I can't play on PC. But I know there's obviously better equivalents like League of Legends, but if they start getting better titles or more interesting titles to me anyway to PC, then I'm definitely probably gonna be heading that way myself. Definitely, probably.
And the thing is, we are going to get into this in a little bit, but Microsoft has promised a certain number of original titles that are going to be coming to just the Xbox, and at this point, obviously still very early, we still have a lot of stuff that's going to be unveiled. these games better be mind-blowing to
Hold on.
persuade people.
Right. So we're gonna get further delve into that in a minute. The one other little quick thing.
Before I'm gonna jump in again because I've been doing it. I liked Aeon's initial reaction when we were watching this last night or whatever it was, and he's talking about the IPs. Like, how many of those are gonna be Connect games? Connectimals too.
Just
Excuse me.
shitty, just...
Connectimals was I love Tiger Kitties. Okay.
Connectimals too.
Exactly, and they're gonna be teen moms. So, anyways, the other little quick feature I wanted to throw on that I did like and I think is good for the gaming crowd niche is that right now, currently, Xbox Live for the 360 has 15,000 servers. They're going to be putting up 300,000 servers for the Xbox One. So it's really just
People
a
are gonna
matter,
get served.
right? It's really just a matter of time. Hopefully, they just take advantage of it. Let me look here. Moving into the specs of the system, almost very similar to the PS3, but or PS4, I should say. 8-core CPU, 8 gigs of DDR3 RAM, which we found out 3 of those are going to be used for the OS, a 500 gigabyte hard drive, the cloud, obviously, Blu-ray drive. It is going to have wireless with built-in Wi-Fi Direct, obviously an Ethernet port, HDMI in and out, and USB 3.0. So a lot of those are almost the exact same as the PS4.
I'm wondering if there's gonna be. I know we were talking about capture devices and DVRs and stuff like that earlier, and I'm just gonna segue into this. Since there's the HDMI in and out, I'm wondering if there's gonna be software that people develop where you just out straight into PC and then you can capture and record from there.
Well, you can do that now. Almost. I mean, you can get the. Go down to Best Buy and you can pick that stuff up. I can't even think of the name of it right now.
Like an actual
Probably-
capture card?
Yeah, it's not the Genie. It's the
The Magic Jack.
no.
Are we back on that?
It's you plug it in, it records you and streams it right to your Twitch, right online where people can watch you.
OxyClean?
No, it's a Roxio or a Hapag. I have one. But I'm wondering if there's gonna be just straight up software, no capture card in between. Because
For
normally
what?
video cards like now have an HDMI. So I'm wondering if
Right.
you can just jack it into there.
It should. This
Whoa.
Xbox better give me a back massage. It should already come with it in there. I mean, I thought that was the new thing. It was supposed to be the new technology, the new thing, and the new wave they're trying to push is streaming. And I didn't hear anything about it.
Yeah, well, hopefully they just haven't revealed everything yet because we do have to keep in mind E3 is coming around the corner and they want to have a lot of shit to show off there because they still have they always have since Microsoft has jumped into the gaming industry, 13, 14 years now. They've always had the biggest E3 conferences.
Right.
So hopefully their E3 conference is just fucking banana sandwich and just blows all of us on our ass and makes us go, okay, now we know why they had this shitty reveal conference. Okay.
Well, why'd they have this conference in the first place if they're just gonna show all the good things at E3? Why even do this shitty conference a
'Cause
couple weeks before E3?
Because
I
they
think it
need.
gets-
Go ahead.
I think it gets the preliminary crap out of the way, like
Yeah.
showing off the TV. That's an hour of conference they don't have to do at
Yeah,
E3
true.
again.
Exactly. Just
And
the
plus,
stuff
I
that they
think it's
don't want to
just
show
that.
at E3.
Yeah, I think they just want to get something out before E3, obviously to save time, but also because Sony already made their move. And if they go to E3 and don't announce anything, then they're going to get to the holiday season and go, hey, look at all our stuff, and we're not going to have a real hands-on look at it.
Right. The new stuff they did to the controller, Aeon Tech and I agreed that they kept the great originality of the 360 controller because I love that controller. The 360 controller is great. I like it more than the PS3 controller personally, and that's coming from I was a PS1, PS2, PS3 gamer, but I still like the 360's controller a bit more.
You can with it.
Yeah, and Aeon Tech and I agreed that they kind of kept, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and then added more to it. So the first thing that I personally, as a fighting game player and needing precise controls sometimes I'm happy about is the new D-pad. They completely redesigned the new D-pad, and it's supposed to be incredibly accurate for movement, as well as like for fighting games. It's very great and quick and smooth, precise controls. Shuffle, anything else as a fellow fighting game player? I know we have sticks, but still.
I was gonna say I just stick to my arcade stick. Mad Catz, Adark, they're all good. With I could care less about a D-pad as it's relegated to me as kill streaks in Call of Duty and potions and guardians.
I like
It's
it.
not.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's sad. The D-pad's become a shadow of its former
It's not
self.
responsive. It's only on there for one for nostalgia and two mostly for fighting games or to add extra things because it would be a pain in the ass to have another like AXBY or something in the bottom left alternating to the stick instead of just something like a D-pad which you can attach between 4 and 8 extra buttons if you need to.
Yeah. Okay.
The one thing about the controller, the thing I'm most excited about are the new triggers, the impulse triggers as they're calling them, and basically what they're going to be able to do is developers going to be able to program rumble, force feedback, vibration into the triggers themselves. So I mentioned this in our reveal video recently, but you can if you click on the right trigger to shoot, you're actually going to feel like a little kick from the right trigger, and something like that could be just fucking great. Depending
Yeah.
on, but it's another thing where they're putting it into the hands of the developers, and it's up to them to really make it great. I mean, you look at my favorite game that uses rumbles very, very well is the Metal Gear Solid series, which I do have a Let's Play of Metal Gear Solid 1 if you want to check that out. Self plug, but
So are we plugging those right now?
yes, we are.
I got a bunch.
Plug in you both at the same time in a minute.
No, you get to wait for yours. But the vibration in those games are great. But it's up to the developers to really make it happen. But Xbox is putting the opportunity in their hands. It's just a matter of if they're gonna handle it or not.
Am I the only one who's actually, I mod my own controller, so I'm kind of looking at what I can actually do to mod this thing.
Yeah, I mean,
I take apart all my Xbox controllers. I have different shells on from it, from Evil 6. I mean, I just want to know, like, I mean, it looks nice. I do like the fact that they did keep the originality. I was kind of worried about it. I'm not sure if I'm digging the top of the
triggers
they're quite,
or the
that big
shoulder
old-
buttons.
yeah, it's quite large, but
It's not just me. It's
I'm
not the same thing.
happy with it. But like I said, I want to know how well I can get in there and screw it and mod it.
You want to screw the controller?
Shut up.
Fantastic.
I
Gamers
like the
love
remote
you.
control. Okay, I like it.
Okay.
Everyone's ears just perked up. By the way, that's
Yeah,
fucking
exactly.
listening to this.
Unscrew it.
Their
Just
ears,
their ears.
and their yeah.
Yeah, and now they're up. No, the other thing with the impulse triggers is they're actually contoured better for fingers. So they changed the angles and the feeling of the triggers themselves to actually be better suited. Not, I think they said they used a different plastic as well to try and make them a little bit better. And also, apparently, there's more responsive. Like they said, like 25% more responsive than they were as far as pressure, because they actually work with magnetism, is what I watched in a video. And this guy said it's very annoyingly long and arduous process to explain it to you. He goes, but I'll just let you know that it kind of works with the magnetics of your body and how hard you press and the pressure, and it's all in the controller as well. So I thought that was actually pretty nifty.
As far as the triggers go, I hope they make them a little more shallow from the 360 controller because there are some games that you would play where you would not get the trigger button to respond until the trigger went all the way down.
That's what they're changing.
Which could be really annoying. So I'd rather it be a little more shallow, even if it's a little more responsive. But just like being able to press on it to like halfway or whatever and get a response is much better than having to go all the way down to get something because those are fractions of seconds that do matter in certain games.
Well, that's why, like I said, they're really working toward the amount of pressure that you need to actually make the trigger respond. Go ahead.
I would have sex with the Xbox 360 controller.
Pretty
I'm
good.
excited for the Xbox One's controller.
Pretty good.
Let's be real.
The thing I like, another thing I like, I should say, they improved the thumbsticks. Apparently, the input, just like on the pressure with the triggers, they also improved the sensitivity of the thumbstick to where if you move ever so slightly to the left or right, it will respond ever so slightly to the left or right. So it's the input, the feel. Once again, they actually did use a different rubber, but the main thing I like is they raised the thumbsticks a tiny bit because everyone was doing that. That's one of the big things. Pinup, I don't know if you did that for any of your controllers, but
What was it?
raising the thumbsticks up, a lot of people
So
pumped them up a little bit.
I have big hands as it is. I don't need them up higher. I'm using the Evil sticks right now as it is, but I like the PlayStation buttons. I play with the PlayStation buttons on it. Not a big fan of the divot part, but I don't have them raised.
Interesting. Because that's actually one of the things they changed. They apparently raised them very slightly
Okay.
to have a better texture and feel to them.
It looks cool. I like it. I'm kind of excited. I like the look of the controller better than the actual Xbox itself.
This is gonna sound weird, but the part I'm most excited about is that it's using micro USB. I hated the proprietary USB that the 360 used. I couldn't find that cable a lot of times, and I was like, okay, so what? I can't just use whatever cable I have laying around. But now I can use my cell phone's charging cable to charge my controller for the Xbox One.
Right. That's going to be really cool. What he was saying is it's a high-speed data port for your headsets, for charging, for anything like that. So the high-speed data port is basically going to be really sexual chocolate when it comes to making things fast and easy, charging quicker, better response with any kind of mic. So hopefully that turns out really well.
How many times have I been called fast and easy?
Girl,
What about Fast and Furious?
part 15.
I actually, apparently in all these videos I'm furious, but hey, whatever.
You're always fast, so.
Yeah.